What's up, everybody? It's your boy Rebel here, and for today's episode, the SMGs in Modern Warfare. Let's rank them.
On your feet, soldier! We are leaving!
So how we all doing? Hope we're all having a wonderful day today. So I got the SMGs Platinum, so I wrongfully think that I know enough about the SMGs now to actually rank them. There's so many attachments, I could just be doing it wrong. Now, the SMGs in this game, they do have a fast ADS speed, but with the time to kill in this game being so fast and the amount of campiness and hardscope mounting with the M4A1 and stuff like that, the SMGs don't really shine as much as they probably should in this game, with the exception of about one or two. A lot of the SMGs can be kitted out for ADS speed improvement to make them a lot faster and feel a lot more like they're supposed to, but there aren't many attachments on a lot of the SMGs that make it viable in way of medium to long range combat. I will be taking all of this stuff into consideration when ranking them, so without further ado, let's get into it. Starting off at number 6, to no one's surprise, we have the Uzi. And in case anyone is wondering what the best class setup is for the Uzi, this gun is pure garbage. I cannot stand using it. It is so weak. It's like a 4-shot at close range, and it might be a 3-shot, but the amount of time it takes to pump these rounds out, the rate of fire with this thing is tremendously slow. There is no way that I can actually find this viable unless you've just reverse boosted yourself into oblivion and you're the best lobbies ever. Then you might be able to go on an amazing streak with the Uzi. But if anyone is even remotely competent and using any remotely better gun than this, you're not going to stand much of a chance at all. And if they're using an MP5 or an M4, you've already lost the gunfight. You've lost the entire match before it even started by just putting the Uzi in your class setup. If you gotta get it for Platinum and Damascus, there are ways and there are things to do to make it a little easier to use, but nothing is going to be competent. It's going to take you a lot longer than everything else. This gun is straight garbage tier SMG. Now, these next three actually took me a while between number 5 and number 3. These were hard and I had to play a few matches with both of them switching off in the same match, just so I knew I wasn't getting into a completely different lobby and everything was going to be different. I switched between them multiple times throughout the same matches to come to this conclusion. So coming in at number 5, we got the P90. Now, initially I was going to put this thing closer up, probably at around number 3, but after using it a little bit more, I gotta say this thing it's not that great. It's nothing special. And being that it's nothing special, I'm not saying it's bad or it's garbage tier. It gets about a C+, B- on a good day with a good class setup. The only thing is the amount of attachments you have for this, there's not a lot. There's not much in the way that you could do to make this anything tremendous. You can make it a well-rounded SMG. You can make it capable of going up to medium distances. I had some better luck doing that, but overall the gun just pales in comparison with so many of the other SMGs that we have. I really did want to rate this one higher, being that it has, what does it have, 50 rounds? As 50 rounds base, I don't think you can actually change that, but 50 is enough. The only thing is, this gun just doesn't feel as good as some of the others, and even when having to switch between the number 4 gun and the number 3 gun, I was finding a lot more success with those in the exact same lobbies. Meaning I was either using it wrong and had the wrong class setup, which let me know if I did. Please let me know how you deck out the P90, and let me know if you think it's like the 3rd best SMG or whatever. I don't know. It's not bad, but it ended up at number 5. And coming in at number 4, we got the AUG. Now, I did want to rate the AUG a little bit higher because it actually doesn't work too bad as an SMG. When you try to convert it into a 5.56, it doesn't really shine as much because you have to waste about 2 or 3 attachments to get it there, and then you have to use everything else to mitigate all of the changes that those few attachments put onto the gun. Using it as an SMG means you can stack it heavily in one direction, and by doing that, it actually works really well. It's fast, it's reliable, it's quick. I hardly run into any issues with it, except for the fact that the base weapon has 25 rounds in the magazine, meaning you either got to go with sleight of hand or you got to go with the 32. I don't even think the 32 is really enough. I'd like to get it closer to 45. You have to switch ammo to even get to the 60 round drum mag, but that's going to completely change the gun fundamentally into a assault rifle. We're not ranking assault rifles, we're ranking SMGs. And as an SMG, this one is good. This thing would have come in 3rd place if it had more rounds in the magazine, but it doesn't. That is the main thing to curtail this gun, is the lack of ammo. And there's nothing we can really do about it. Like I said, 32 rounds, that's good, that's better. That should be base. I mean, it's strange that the rifle has 30 and the SMG has 25. That is exceptionally low. 32 is not enough, and you gotta waste 1 attachment slot getting it to 32, meaning that this gun just kind of pales in comparison. And coming in at number 3, we got the PP19. Now, I do want to thank Dylan C in the comments of the PP19 video for reminding me, use the long barrel. I mean, all the barrels are actually the same length. I want to say it's 8.7 inches, but they're all just different weights. So there's not really a long barrel, but I knew what he was saying. The one that provides the most amount of range increase and recoil control. That is kind of what this gun needed. I did say it just sucked when you get to a further range. Switching that barrel kind of makes this thing a little more well balanced. It has 64 rounds to begin with, so we're not running into the issues we have with the AUG. It's a lot more reliable as an all-around gun, especially an up-close gun. At up close, this thing is pretty melty, and when you get the longer barrel on it, it actually stretches it out to about a medium distance, which is not bad. All in all, I do have to say I was probably just getting into a lot of bad lobbies when I was trying to get the gameplay for the best attachments and the gold for the PP19. But in general, I was wrong in that video. I said this one wouldn't even make a top 3. It's number 3. It's pretty good, especially when you make sure you get the right attachments on there. The only thing is there's no underbarrel, and besides the stock, it does have the skeleton stock, it does have the tack laser and the stipple grip tape. Those are the 3 things you really need to get the ADS speed down. However, there's just something about it that just hinders it from being any better than it is, and it's really good. If the AUG had more rounds in it, if the AUG had 45 or 50 rounds that you could put in it, I might be ranking it higher than the PP19, because it does have slightly better control, especially at a longer range. But the PP19 is good. It's good. It's a fun gun to use, especially when you, like I said, you make sure you get the right attachments on there. This thing is pretty fun to use. The only thing is, the next 2 guns are just so much better. And coming in at number 2, we got the MP7. Now, this thing is a melt machine. When you get up close and personal, this thing is the delete button. You just control alt delete, open task manager, and program on every single person you come across, provided that they're about 10 feet away from you. And you might be thinking, well, it's like the PP19 and that it's garbage at long range. No, even when you don't deck it out for recoil control, it's usable at long range. You can get long range shots. If the enemy sees you the same time you see them, probably not. But if you can position yourself, if you see them and they're pointing in another direction, aiming at somebody else, and you make sure that you can control that recoil, which you can do, you can get long distance kills with this thing. It is not hard. And as far as the range goes on this thing, it's kind of towards the bottom, but it is workable. It is workable. It is controllable. But there's the fact that when you get up into close quarters combat, this is hands down the best SMG to be using. This thing is nasty. It's nasty, people. This thing is straight disgusting. As long as I was getting close enough to them, they were just saying bye-bye. There's nothing that they could do about it. They could try, but this thing's time to kill when you're up close is so fast. And it makes it so much fun to use, especially on the right maps. I was avoiding playing Shipment, Rust with it. I wanted to play on the normal maps, but even when you get onto the normal maps and normal rotation, there are areas of the maps where you will shine, where this thing will be clutch. This thing is clutch. It's the second best SMG in the game for a reason. It's a delete button. And coming in at number 1, shocking absolutely nobody, we have the MP5. Now, unfortunately for me, I was using all of these SMGs and doing quite well with them, so I was, you can probably guess what my lobbies were looking like. Everyone was running around with a Mark II or a Car 98 and a 725 overkill, or sniping me at long distance, or using the M4A1 while mounted down a lane, which means that this thing was not really doing what it was intended to do, and I was running across no opportunities to do what I wanted to do. But I persevered, I kept playing, and I just dropped VTOL after VTOL with this thing. Went on 2 Mercilesses in 1 game, and I didn't even reverse boost the lobby. I wanted to get like a double kill, some triple kills. I wanted to go somewhat positive, and I was like, I'll keep playing until I do. And then I got into the lobby where this gun was like, okay, you've waited long enough. Here's your turn. Here's your time to shine. And oh my god, this gun is amazing. This gun is a beast. Medium range distances is what this thing prevails at due to the fast ADS speed, the amount of rounds in the mag if you want to go up to 45. The iron sights are pretty good by itself. The collapsible stock, the ADS stock, all of the wonderful attachments that you could use for it. At medium range, this thing is a beast. At close range, it's just as nasty. And if you can control it, this thing works at long range. I was beating a couple people I had no business beating at long range. Oh my god. There's a reason that that there's two guns that the pros use in COD League, the M4 and the MP5. There's absolutely no question as to why those are the only two guns being used. Of course, with the exception of the HDR and the AX50 in Search and Destroy, but that's always in Search and Destroy. I never see him running snipers in Hardpoint or Domination. It's always M4s and MP5s. That's it, and there is a reason for it. These guns are beasts. They're fun. They're fun to use. They're fun to use. They should probably be nerfed to fall in line with the other guns, or I would say have the other guns buffed, but everything just feels too strong in this game. I'd rather have slightly weaker guns, slightly weaker meta guns to come in line with all the other guns. It might be easier also to just tweak one gun to make it as good as the rest instead of making all the other ones even better, especially when the time to kill is so ridiculously fast. Anything to where the gunfights are a sliver bit longer is a little bit better in my book. But that's it. The MP5 is nasty, dude. The MP5 is nasty as an all-around great SMG gun, and the MP7, if you are trying to run and gun and get around as fast as you can, and you're on close quarters maps, or you're going to be playing hardpoint and trying to push people off of the hardpoint, and you just want to get some nasty quad feeds and stuff like that, the MP7, if you're at close range, that is the way to go for that. As for the other ones, the AUG and the PP19, pretty good. All around good guns if you want to challenge yourself and not use an overpowered gun. Those two would probably be the way to go. The P90 is not bad, but it is by no means good. And the Uzi is just straight garbage. And that's it. That's it. That's all you got to know. And that's going to wrap this one up. Thanks for watching. Smash that like button. Hit that sub button. Gently click that notification bell. All that other good stuff. I've been getting comments. People are getting closer and closer to Damascus. So am I. I've only got the sniper rifles left. Whoo, boy, this is going to be fun. If you haven't let me know in other videos what your progression is, feel free to let me know down below. It's always good to see how the community is doing, and everyone's getting really close. I'm loving it. It's a lot more easier and a lot more achievable for everybody this year. It's just a little more grindy. It's taken a little bit longer than it probably should. Irregardless, what is my problem? Regardless of skill level, I'm upset at I can't believe I actually said irregardless unironically. And until next time.